This morning's guest is the CEO of one of the most thought of companies in our area. Today, his thoughts are on saving babies. Who is he? You'll meet him coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Walk America Week on Carolina People. This morning we're at South Carolina's most visited attraction, Ripley's Aquarium. We're visiting with an active and longtime volunteer of the March of Dimes, Dennis Wade. Good morning, Dennis.
Glad to be here.
Thanks so much for coming in.
Oh, absolutely.
What about this?
What a beautiful
Ripley's
facility,
Aquarium.
man.
Yeah.
It's packed with kids everywhere.
It is nuts at 7 a.m. on a Wednesday.
Oh, my Lord.
It
They're
is
all over the
nuts.
place.
I know, it's
Yeah.
incredible. Ripley's goes out of their way.
They really do. What a
really
tremendous experience they provide here.
What a perfect thing for the state as well. And of course,
Oh,
I think you
absolutely.
highlighted before we started back in '99,
Yes.
they won the Governor's
Governor's
Cup
Cup.
for the
Yes.
state of South Carolina.
Sure did.
You're
We
intimately
followed in
involved
2006 at Ocean Lakes with the same award.
This past
Great
year,
honor.
Ocean Lakes Family Campground.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yes.
That is tremendous.
It is a great destination here for folks from around the area, folks who come here to visit during the summer. Just a tremendous experience here.
From around the world.
Absolutely.
They come from everywhere, but particularly now when you think kids coming in, Boy Scout and Girl Scout troops.
Absolutely.
And schools.
I want to go walk around and look at everything.
Yeah, no, wait till 7:30. Just wait a few minutes. You know, we think about a big day, today being March 28th, but a bigger day is a month from now.
Absolutely. We're a month away from Walk America 2007. We've changed the venue this year.
Right.
We're going to move that over to Coastal Carolina University, and there's so much positive things that are going on and getting ready for the walk. We're kind of on that last stretch to get to where we need to be on the goal and getting everybody involved. So this is kind of the real push for the next 30 days.
Absolutely. Linda Puckett was with us yesterday talking about their Forest Brook Walk, which is happening this morning. And, of course, Ryan Swain, the chairman, will be with us tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Who you co-chaired with last year.
Ryan is doing a tremendous job.
Oh, yeah.
And the schools, Linda, the folks at Forest Brook Elementary, #1 in the state last year.
Yes.
How big is that? That is outstanding. But all the schools in Horry County have really stepped up. I mean, over the last couple of years, the schools have really gotten involved, and we appreciate that so much. I mean, to have the kids really out there doing a lot of events to raise money for babies.
Right.
You know, the close connection with those kids and you know, the March of Dimes, saving babies.
Yes.
You know, there's really a connection there. So we've really benefited from that.
Linda talked about it yesterday. She said the figure is at least 95% you can ask a kid about, even use the word prematurity there at Forest Brook, and they know what's going on.
Absolutely.
They really understand that. I'm 36. I'm trying to think, what the heck's what's
Right.
prematurity? A lot of adults don't even know.
And the more that they find out, and especially at Forest Brook Elementary, at Socastee Elementary, where there's a connection with a particular family who's experienced it, they really get behind it. It's something that they can then understand, something they can, you know, put a face and a name with what the March of Dimes is all about.
You're thinking about Luke Parrott or
Absolutely.
Riley Grace Saffles.
Absolutely.
So many connections. And, of course, next week after next, Brian Simpson will be with us, whose wife's been a longtime teacher at Myrtle Beach Middle, who had a premature birth of their own, and the experiences of going through that. It's a powerful thing.
It is, and once you get involved and you understand what the March of Dimes is trying to do, it's almost compelling. The mission of the March of Dimes it really draws you in, and to be able to, you know, raise money for research to try to find a way to stop premature birth, stop some of these birth defects that we really don't know what causes it. But to be able to see some of these babies, unfortunately not all of them survive, not all of them can live a healthy life, but to see, you know, Riley Saffles, to see Luke Parrott, to see Parker Wilson, who are now growing up and living a normal life, and through a lot of the research that the March of Dimes has been able to enable, is tremendous.
You know, so oftentimes folks think, what can my dollars or even dimes do? And of course, we go backwards 70 years, like Colleen Shanley was talking about on Monday. And you think about the reason it got started with FDR, and then of course the Salk vaccine. Same thing right now with prematurity.
Absolutely.
You think, why? Why prematurity? We don't know, but those are research dollars.
That's right. And it's so important that those dollars, March of Dimes does a tremendous job. I believe the last number is about 92% of every dollar that they raise goes directly into research and programs to help eliminate, prevent birth defects and premature birth. It is, I think 1 in 8 now is the number are born premature. In South Carolina, it's scary. 24 babies every
day.
Every day.
Will be born today.
Absolutely. Over 160 every week. Over 8,000 over the course of a year are born premature.
We're just talking about in the Palmetto State.
In South Carolina. And unfortunately, it happens everywhere. And unfortunately, premature birth knows no boundaries. It's not,
it does not
ethnic,
discriminate.
racial,
That's right.
any of that. I mean, it cuts across all boundaries. And that's why, I think the research that they're doing is so important to try to if we can narrow it in, what's causing it, try to find a cure for it.
Speaking of that, Dennis, I know you know this phone number, so I'm going to ask you, if a viewer needs to get off to school now or off to work, what's the best number?
The easiest way to remember is 488-DIME.
D-I-M-E.
That's right, 488-3463.
Okay, great. For viewers who need to take off, about yourself, Dennis, are you originally from the area?
I'm originally from Lancaster, South Carolina, about 2 hours up the road, little south of Charlotte. I've been here for the last 10 years and have really, really enjoyed living in the community.
Yeah, what brought you to the Myrtle Beach area, Dennis?
What brings everybody is that ocean out there.
That's right. How about Ripley's? Yeah.
That's right. Actually, I was working in Columbia after I got out of school, worked there for a number of years, had the opportunity to come down here and join the Jackson companies.
Oh, yeah.
And what a tremendous opportunity, and it's just worked out so positively for me and my family and all. I don't think there's enough dynamite to get me or my family out of here now. We call this home, and this is home.
That's tremendous, Dennis. For our viewers in the PD or southeastern North Carolina that may not be familiar, if there is such a thing, with the Jackson companies, what exactly are the Jackson companies?
We actually get that asked a lot.
Yeah.
The Jackson companies is the Jackson family owns the enterprise, and our lead operation is Ocean Lakes Family Campground, obviously, as we mentioned, won last year's Governor's Cup from PRT. We also have, and that's a 300-acre oceanfront resort. It's more than really a campground. It's a family campground, but it's really a lot more.
Oh, yeah.
We also own and operate Preston Country Club.
Is that right?
That is, and that's another positive part of our development. And we're actually right now in the very early stages of planning and getting ready to develop at the intersection of 544 and 17 Bypass, a mixed-use development called Saybrook.
Yes.
And that is going to be probably over the next 10 or 15 years, a mixture of commercial, retail, office, residential, hopefully a lot of things that will become a community unto itself.
I think I saw about 740 acres down there.
Yes, it is, and we'll probably end up with about 1,800 households over there. Yes, sir.
Wow,
and
Lord, Dennis.
What we're looking at developing over there is going to be something that will be something fairly unique to this area.
Right.
It'll have a real community feel to it. Some entertainment opportunities for people, exercise opportunities, things that you expect when you move into a community.
Absolutely.
And the location is just prime right there at 544 and the bypass.
How exciting, and immediately adjacent to the former Air Force Base.
It is.
Buddy Cyrus was with us last Thursday talking about not only Market Common, but Lennar and Withers Preserve. There's just a lot going to be happening in these two large adjacent tracts.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think the south end is there are a lot of positive things happening. I mean, if you kind of look at the map, where along the beach area, anywhere east of the Intercoastal Waterway, do you find land mass of what's still there that hasn't been developed?
Right.
And those are two very large land masses. And we're looking to do something similar to what they're doing on the air base.
Right.
Something upscale, something that brings value to the folks who live there, to businesses. It's something that we want to have where you can actually live, work, and play right there. You don't have to get in the car and go somewhere. Everything will be right there.
How exciting when you think of the dream of Nelson and Mary Emily Jackson back in the early 70s, 71 or 2.
That's right,
when they founded
started
Ocean Lakes Family Campground. Nelson was with us at the Herald Studios a couple of years ago in there and had all these pictures of his, is it 5 or 6 girls? Five daughters with his wife in front of this big bus, which I guess was an RV.
He had one of the first motor coach buses in the country.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, he traveled across the country then as the girls were very young,
Right.
selling the cloth that he and his father in their business, Cloth of Gold, Jackson & Jackson, had up in the Tryon area.
Wow.
And he went all over the country. And he can pretty much tell you today
That's right.
every place he went.
And probably still has a little memory
Yeah.
from each of those places, I'm sure.
But he and Mary Emily and the 5 daughters and their family have really built something special down there at Ocean Lakes in Prestwick. They have really viewed themselves as stewards of the property. Mrs. Jackson inherited the property from her parents.
Oh, really?
Her father was a pharmacist over in Conway,
Right.
Dr. Platt. And when they passed away in the 60s, Mary Emily and her brother inherited the property, and Mary Emily and Nelson started the development in the early 70s. And Crystal Lake Mobile Home was the very first development.
Oh, yes, which
Ocean
is
Lakes
beautiful.
followed a year later, and things have really taken off from there. But there is a very strong stewardship, and you know they received the property from her parents. They want to make sure that they hand it on to their children.
Right.
They've taken care of the property, that they've developed it in a good way, and they've created something special, which they really have. And you know, myself and the other members of the management team, our job is really to continue that into the future. And the 5 daughters who actually own the company now and oversee the operations, we've got a professional management team that runs it day to day, but they provide us the strategic direction of where they want to see the business go. But it's still that stewardship function is still there very solidly.
That is fascinating.
Yes.
Dennis, I wonder if folks ever ask about Mary Emily's brother. What did he do with did he get some land as well?
He did, and
Yeah.
that's the area where Queens
Deer Track
Harbor,
and-
Deer
oh,
Track,
yeah.
the Deerfield development.
Yeah. These were
yeah,
very
so
substantial. This pharmacist in
Absolutely.
Conway was a very substantial landholder.
Used to be, I believe, at one time, Dr. Platt had somewhere around 8,000 acres
No,
total.
my Lord.
And at that point in time, it was timberland, and,
Yeah.
and they hunted the property. Who would have known, you know, a matter of probably 50, 60 years later, what that property would have turned into.
Absolutely. How exciting.
It
Dennis.
really,
That
it really is. And we've, you know, a lot of very positive things looking out into the future, too.
Oh, yeah, sure, very definitely. I think I saw that Ocean Lakes, Lance was with us a couple of months ago and talked about it being a mile of oceanfront.
It is.
And it really is. When folks visit it for the first time, and the terminus of 544, it really ends right there at Ocean Lakes.
It does. What a better place for a major artery coming in
I
to
know.
intersect right there at your front door.
Yes.
But a lot of people don't realize once you get inside the front gates, what all is available within the campground. I mean, it's pretty much it is a full-service resort.
Oh, yeah.
Everything that you need to come and stay, as Nelson has always said, you know, I want them to come. I want to find ways to keep them from leaving.
Right.
If they need to go get money, I'll put an ATM. If they want to go get something to eat, I've got a snack bar. You
Yes.
know, oh, they got to wash their clothes. I've got a laundromat.
I
So,
love it. No
you
need
know,
to
so
leave the
absolutely,
leave the 300-acre premises.
absolutely.
That is fascinating.
So it has really blossomed over the years into a completely comprehensive, full-service resort. We've got 350 to 400 teammates.
Right.
We obviously spike up during the summertime, during the
Sure.
peak season. But we have around 350 to 400 overall who make Ocean Lakes what it is. And that's smiling, helping people. And our job is the best job. I tell people I've got the best job.
Yes.
You know, oversee an operation where your job is to help people have a good time.
Absolutely. And beyond that, Dennis, I think the thing that excites most folks about the Jackson family and the company is the support they give to you, to
Absolutely.
Lance, to Steve, to David Durant, to others. So many of the major components that make the operation enable you all to get out in the community and do the kind of things that you and Lance do, and David
Absolutely.
and Steve and whoever else there are. When we think about your service, not only chairing this walk, but also chairing the Myrtle Beach Area Chamber of Commerce, being active with the
Absolutely.
Coastal Educational Foundation, and so many other venues. You probably lose track of them all.
It's hard to keep up with them.
Yeah.
But it is really an expectation. Nelson and Mary Emily have, and the family, they have been blessed. And they expect us, as a means of returning back to the community,
Right.
to stay actively involved and to take leadership roles where there's opportunities to do so. So there is, to some degree, an obligation that is built into the culture that we
Good.
have. To
Absolutely.
be involved, to be active, to be out there giving something back. And we are very fortunate to be able to do that. And it goes beyond, you know, a 9-to-5 job. It's,
Right.
it's to be out there and have a presence. And I think that it's one of those elements that not only is a means for us to give back to the community, but we benefited from it tremendously.
Yeah, absolutely. Things just like the 1999 Governor's Cup or Ocean Lakes, or think of the ones in between, whether it's Carolina Opry or I'm not sure what all the amazing facilities. That's right, and of course all around the state. It's not; they're not just in Horry County. The Governor's Cup is all over the state. So
absolutely,
it's a tremendous recognition. Of course, the real excitement is thinking about a month from today. If a viewer was watching for the first time and hearing about Walk America, of course, not only is that Horry County's Walk America, it's also, I believe, as Colleen talked about on Monday, Dillon's Walk America.
That's right.
And National Walk America Day.
It happens all across the country on the last Saturday in April 28th. And, we're hoping, we've seen over the last couple of years, a lot of people turning out and come to walk.
Oh, yeah.
And the expectation is, well, I've got to raise a huge amount of money. You don't.
Right.
If you walk up and you've got $5 or $10, you just want to come out and walk. I know that you're more than welcome. Our main thing is get involved, learn about what the March of Dimes does, because I assure you, it will pull you in, and you'll want to do something to help.
Rain or shine, April 28th,
Absolutely.
New venue, Coastal Carolina University. Folks can get out there as early as 7. They can come out at 8. Registration's at 9, and the walk's at 10. But you think of that walk route, of course, and Ryan will talk about that tomorrow, and Coach Bennett will talk about it on Friday. You think about that walk route and the excitement that Coastal has really gotten behind this with the loss of the pavilion for us to be able to walk from that as a beginning and end. To be able to use Coastal is incredible.
What a savior with the changes that were happening at the pavilion, to be able to have a venue and a venue that's got so much energy with everything that's going on at Coastal.
Right.
For them to offer their facilities for the walk is outstanding. And I have to say, Ryan has done a tremendous job. I'm kind of taking the back seat this year. He has really stepped up. Coach Bennett has been involved in all the last 4 years. Has been our honorary ambassador for the honorary chair for the walk. Has done a tremendous job, and I assure you, he was impacted by a premature birth of his daughter.
Right.
And we didn't realize it, and we found out that. And he really grabbed on and said, whatever you need me to do, I'll do. And he's lived up to that.
Absolutely.
I think on the 28th, it's not only the walk. After the walk's over, he's going to have some activities too with
punt, pass, and kick. That's right, big day.
I keep asking him, are you going to let the big kids do it too? And he won't give me an answer.
He might. Yeah, we'll wait. I'll ask him that on Friday. That's great. We think about it, and folks think, is this a big deal? Are there a lot of dollars raised? We go back to 2003, the year before you became the chair. It was $121,000 in 2004. The year you first chaired it at 203, then 215 the next year. And last year when you and Ryan co-chaired it, $272,000, more than $250,000.
Phenomenal.
It's incredible.
It blew us away.
And all the sponsors and all the walkers, you think sponsors must be pushing it. It's only a quarter of those dollars. The real dollars are folks getting out here, and they can do it between now and the end of the month.
Absolutely. And in this community, it really the background of the March of Dimes. Right. It started off with going around and collecting dimes.
Yes.
We built it just like then. Pennies, dimes, quarters, dollars.
Yeah.
It all adds up.
Oh, yeah.
And so we have found the more people you can get involved, the more energy you can get with the walk. And the schools, as I said, have been a tremendous, tremendous ally to helping us with that. And we hope that will continue to grow. But the goal this year is 293. And we're hoping that we're going to get there.
Blow by it. Let's make it happen. You guys blew by goals every year. Yes. You think, and Linda was with us yesterday talking about Forest Brook. You highlighted they were the top school in the state of South Carolina. But the very exciting aspect is all of Horry County schools together were 5th in America.
In the whole nation.
In the whole country. Think of that. You start sweating just thinking about that figure, 5th in America.
Absolutely.
When they're going against, that's in all teams. Horry County Schools is one that's going against companies like Bank of America. And of course, but schools around the country to be competing in that ball game is incredible.
Think about grassroots. Here's something these children are going to learn about, and we've got thousands of children at the schools right now that are hearing about the March of Dimes. Hopefully, they will be future ambassadors as they grow older to help out, help the cause.
Yes. Some of those may become pharmacists, some may become doctors.
Absolutely.
They work with children and really get involved or become researchers. Mm-hmm. Think of that.
Yeah, we want them all to come out on April 28th.
That's right.
Come out and have a good time. I assure you, with the facilities, we're looking for a spectacular day.
We got about 5 minutes in us, and when we think about walks, and of course we're thinking anecdotally about walks in the past, but typically what is that day going to be like? And of course there's so much going on a month from now at Coastal. They're still putting more things together. Coach Bennett will be talking about that on Friday, but what's a typical walk day like, and what are some of the activities that go on?
Well, I assure you, it starts very, very early.
Right.
A lot of the work, honestly, has been done.
Yeah.
We always said walk day is not the work day.
Right.
Walk day is the celebration day.
Oh yeah.
But there's a lot of folks that'll come out and get everything ready. But it's really an opportunity for everybody out there to have a good time. And you're out there for a single cause, for helping save babies. So really at that time, all the work's done.
Yeah.
All the food is there. All the logistics are taken care of. It's really, you honestly, it's kind of hard to say, but honestly, you kind of take a breath of sigh of relief
Right.
that day, because it's going to happen.
Yes, and the great thing is, as you said, if you're picking up pennies or nickels, Wachovia handles that on Thursday.
Oh my goodness, yes.
They handle Bank Day, and of course, not only are they a tremendous sponsor, cutting a big check, they're also got a big team together. They're selling
Absolutely.
the Beanie Babies. They're doing everything. Plus, all of their associates gets together on Thursday, the 26th, to count all the change, to count the dollars, to count the checks,
And we can't
get them all
thank them
together.
enough for that.
I know, they
because
really come out.
They really step it up, and it makes it so easy for the March of Dimes staff, which, again, 2 staff in the Conway office there with Joe Fisher and Colleen. The Wachovia really just bring your money in.
Yeah.
We handle all of the paperwork, do all that, count it, and it really gives us a chance, if you're there, just to thank everybody for helping raise money.
You drive home another point earlier, Dennis, and I think Colleen talked about this on Monday. We'll talk about walkamerica.org/South Carolina. A great place to go online.
Absolutely.
A lot of donations can happen online.
How many friends do you have that you communicate with regularly, send emails to, family,
Right.
people from out of town?
Right.
You can send them a very quick link.
Yeah.
They can make a contribution via credit card.
And it's
It's
secure.
so easy. Secure. Absolutely. And you get credit. If you want to go out and raise $100, send an email to 10 of your friends. Just ask them for $10.
I love
it's
it.
done.
I love
it's
it.
done.
That's right. And if you've got 100 friends in your address
Send
book,
it to everybody.
that's $1,000. And if you've got 1,000
right.
folks, that could be 10 grand.
It's
Just
literally
getting
that
$10
easy.
each. Yes.
It's that easy.
That link, and who can turn down a link for $10?
Absolutely. For helping save a baby.
Right, right. You know, we think about that other aspect, of course. Even though Bank Days happen on April 26th, you drove it home. Folks can show up that day without $1 in their pocket, just come out in shorts and a T-shirt. You're going to be invited. Absolutely.
Right.
Come out and get some tremendous food. Everything's donated.
Right.
You know, Ryan will talk about that tomorrow, but so many folks make this thing happen by donating products for that day.
Absolutely. And it honestly is the red carpet. That day, they are willing, they bend over backwards, not only just bringing the things out there, they get it ready, they serve it, you don't have to do anything. It's really, really it's turned into a very large team effort.
Yeah, yeah. When you think about your involvement, Dennis, when you think about your involvement, and was there anything that spurred you, or was it just a call from Joe Fisher coming to see you? Was there anything that got you going back when you committed to chair the walk in 04, and then again in 05, and then to co-chair it to get Ryan started in 06? What was it?
Well, Nick Surfacy, I owed him something. So actually, my sister had actually had twins and lost one.
Oh, wow.
And lost one very early on in her pregnancy. But out of that came a very healthy nephew that I have. So again, I haven't been touched directly myself with my wife and our children. We've been very lucky, but my sister was impacted by it. So it can be that close. And so, and honestly, I didn't know as much about the mission and what all the March of Dimes does, but having gotten involved and learned about it, that's why I said, I need to help out, and I helped for 3 years, and it's still in a backup role there to help Ryan and all, but at this point, they're doing a great job.
Absolutely. That they are. Dennis, thanks so much
Greg,
for your
thank
service.
You. Appreciate it.
Very
Absolutely.
definitely. Stay tuned to more Carolina People with Dennis Wade coming up next. You try to get Dennis to talk a little bit about himself, he won't do it. Doesn't take the time to highlight his service as chairman of the Myrtle Beach Area Chamber of Commerce, serving on the executive committee for the South Carolina Chamber of Commerce, even being Citizen of the Year, a recipient from the Myrtle Beach Area Chamber. Instead, he goes back to that word teammates. When he's talking about the teammates of the Jackson companies, when he's talking about the teammates of all the amazing teams, even teams of one that'll be out there a month from today. That's April 28th. You can be a team. You can be a team because 1 in 8 babies is born prematurely. 24 babies each day. 24 babies each day in the state of South Carolina. Make a difference. Find a team, even if it's just you. You can show up that day. Call 843-488-3463. That's 843-488-DIME, or go online to walkamerica.org/South Carolina.